Hi, welcome to WebGlow. Today, I'm going to teach you HTML from scratch. So, what's HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It tells the browser what to show like text, images, buttons, and links. Every website starts with HTML. So, if you want to become a web developer, you must learn HTML. Think of it like building a house. HTML is like the walls and rooms. It builds a basic shape and structure. CSS is like the paint and decorations. It makes the house look nice and colorful. And JavaScript is like the electricity in appliances. It makes the house do things like turn on lights, open doors, and etc. So you use HTML to display text, video, audio, button, links on your web page, and CSS to make it look nice. And then you add JavaScript to make it interactive. And the cool thing is, HTML is very easy to learn. And here is the best part. Even beginners can earn around $40,000 to $60,000 a year. And that goes up as you keep learning. So are you excited now? If so, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment in the comment section down below. This helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Alright, so before we dive into coding in HTML, let me show you a quick demonstration of what HTML and CSS and JavaScript can do together. Alright, so this is a calculator that I have created with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If I refresh my browser, you can see it's fully animated. And if I click 9 plus 9, and you can see it says that it equals to 18. Alright, so now what if I remove JavaScript? So let me remove JavaScript to see what will happen. Now that we have removed JavaScript, if we press 9, it does nothing. If we press plus, it does nothing. If we press 9 again, it does nothing. So without JavaScript, it does nothing because JavaScript is what makes it interactive. So now let's go ahead and move CSS to see what will happen. Now, if I refresh, and as you can see, now it does not have any colors, no animation, no nothing at all. It's ugly, right? So HTML is the structure, and CSS is the style sheet, and JavaScript make it interactive. So now what will you need to start coding in HTML? You'll need two things. A browser to see your website. You can use Chrome, Firefox, or any browser you like, and a code editor to write your code. We'll use Visual Studio Code because it's free and it's easy to use. So let me show you how to download Visual Studio Code. To download VS Code, head over to codevisualstudio.com. I will also leave you the link in the video description down below. Click on the download button. Now download Visual Studio Code for your operating system. Since I'm on Windows, I'm going to choose Windows. Once done, double click on the file. I accept the agreement, next. And here you can choose the folder where you want to download Visual Studio Code, but I'm just going to click next, and then click next, and then click next, and I will create a desktop icon. Then next, install. Now this should start the installation. Once it's complete, click on finish. Now open Visual Studio Code, and this is the welcome page of Visual Studio Code. You can ignore it for now. Click on this close icon, and now click on this file icon right here. To open a new folder, click on open folder, and now we'll create a new folder where you want to save your project. So I will create that folder inside of my desktop, but you can create it wherever you want. So I'm going to click on new folder, and I'm going to name it HTML tutorial, and then I'll press enter, then select, and it should immediately open my folder inside of my Visual Studio Code. And you can ignore this welcome page by clicking on this close icon. Now click on this new file icon to create an HTML file. This will serve as our main page. You can name it whatever you want, but we'll name it index.html and press enter. And the reason we name it index.html is that most browsers and web servers look for a file named index.html by default when loading a website. Since it's our main page, it's a good idea to name it index.html. The word index is just the name of the file, and the .html part is called the file extension, it tells the browser that this is an HTML file. Later on, if you want to have a different page, for instance, like a login page, sign up page, let's say blog page, let's say contact page, then you can name them something different, such as signup.html, login.html, blog.html, contact.html. But since this is our main page, it must be index.html. Now let's start coding and write our very first code. All right, so now within angle brackets, let's type exclamation mark, doc type in all caps, then HTML. Now, this line of code tells the browser that this is an HTML file, and it must go at the very top of your HTML file. Right below it, type within angle bracket, HTML in lowercase, and closing angle bracket, and then open angle bracket slash HTML and closing angle bracket. So this is the main root of your page, and inside of it goes everything else, such as the head section, the body section, and metadata and everything. We can type within angle bracket, head in lowercase, and then open angle bracket slash head and closing angle bracket. Let me zoom it so you can see everything. All right. So now this is the head section. Here goes metadata and the title of your page. So let's create a title tag. Open angle bracket, title, and closing angle bracket. So you can give it any title that you want, such as HTML tutorial. And then press Ctrl plus S to save your changes. Now, in Visual Studio Code, whenever you make any changes to any file, it can be your HTML file, and later on, when you start learning CSS, it could be a CSS file or it could be a JavaScript file. So remember, whenever you make like any changes to your HTML file or CSS file or JavaScript file, you must press Ctrl plus S to save everything. Otherwise, you will not see anything on your page. So whenever you make any changes, you have to press Ctrl plus S to save everything. So now, let me explain to you what is an HTML tag, because you heard me say tag and you might be wondering, what is HTML tag? What is he even talking about? So let me explain to you what is an HTML tag. Well, HTML tag is a special keyword that comes within opening angle bracket and closing angle bracket. So this right here is an HTML tag. So it comes within an opening angle bracket and the keyword, which is title, and the closing angle bracket. And they are opening tag and they are closing tag. So this right here is an opening tag, and this right here is a closing tag. And this one right here, it's an opening tag, and this one right here, it's a closing tag. So now let me explain to you what is an HTML element. An HTML element usually consists of a start tag, the content inside, and the closing tag. So altogether form an HTML element. So now you know what is an HTML tag and what is an HTML element. All right, so now right below the head tag, we can add our page body. We can open angle bracket, body, and closing angle bracket. Now, inside of the body section goes everything that you want to show on your page, such as images, video, text, anything that you want to show on your page. Now, anything that you add here inside of the head section will not be visible on the page, and anything that you add inside of the body section will be visible on the page. All right, so now it's time to open our HTML website on our browser. And to do that, go to your project folder and double click on this index right here, and it should open your HTML website. Now, if you head over to your website tab, you can see your title. It says HTML tutorial. So now let's put the browser and the code editor side by side. And you can click on this file icon right here to close this tab so you can see everything clearly. And now you want to display some text on your HTML website, right? You can use the H1 tag by only type H1 and press enter, and it should autocomplete for you. And now inside of it, you can just type whatever you want. For instance, welcome to WebGlow. Oh, welcome to WebGlow, and press Ctrl plus S to save. And now, if you refresh your browser, you should see a big text that says welcome to WebGlow. Now, the H1 tag stands for heading, and it's used to display the heading section of your website. And as you can see, it's very big and bold. And there is also the H2 tag. So right below the H1 tag, type H2 and press enter. And now you can type something like subscribe to WebGlow and press Ctrl plus S to save. If you refresh your browser, and now as you can see, you have a text that says subscribe to WebGlow. And the H2 is smaller than the H1. And there is also H3, H4, H5 to H6. And there is no H7, H8. So let's go ahead and create H3. And inside of it, you can type whatever you want. Okay, let's say learn HTML, and then H4, and let's say learn CSS, and then H5, and let's say learn JavaScript, and then H6, and let's say learn React. Now, it's very annoying to be refreshing your browser whenever you make any changes to your HTML file, right? So what if you had something that could refresh your browser for you anytime you make any changes to your HTML file? So yes, we do have it. We have an extension that can refresh our browser for us whenever we make any changes to our HTML file. And that extension is Live Server. And to install Live Server, you just click on this extension icon right here, click on it. And now you can type inside of this input field, Live Server. Now you can click on it. Let me make it bigger so you can see everything. All right, so now for me, it says disable because I already have it installed. But for you, it should say something like install. So just click on the install button. And once done, you can just close this tab. Now, just to show you how it works, press Ctrl plus S to save everything. And you can close your browser. Now, click on your HTML file and then right click, then scroll all the way down and click on Open with Live Server. This will open your HTML website on your browser. And there you go. And as you can see, it just opened your HTML website on your browser. And now you can see that you have a big text, and you have a smaller one, and a smaller one, and a smaller one, and a smaller one, and a smaller one. So you could say something like H1, you can say something like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. All right, and there is also the P tag, which stands for paragraph. So right below the H6, type P, press enter. It should autocomplete for you. And inside of it, you can display something like, I don't really know what to display, like, I love Jesus, right? So now press Ctrl plus S to save everything. And here you have your paragraph. All right, now if you want some random text to play around with, you can just come right below the P tag and type P one more time. And now inside of it, you can type the keyword lorem and press enter and Ctrl plus S to save everything. And now you have some random text to play around with. And of course, it is not understandable because it's not written in English. So it could be some Asian text, or maybe it could be some Roman text. So I don't really know, guys, to be honest. But anyways, so if you want some random text, you can always type the lorem keyword and press enter, and you will have some text to play around with. All right, and there is also the BR tag. So the BR tag stands for line break, and it's used to insert a line break. So if you want to have a line break right after the H1, you can type BR, and it does not need a closing tag. So you can just type opening angle bracket and BR and then closing angle bracket. All right, so now right after the H2, we will also add a line break. Let's say BR, press enter, and right after the H3, let's say BR, enter, and here as well, let's say BR and enter, and here as well, we can say BR and press enter, and right after the H6 as well, BR and enter. Now, if you press Ctrl plus S to save, and now as you can see, you have some line break. You have a line break right after the H1, right after the H2, right after the H3, right after the H4, and right after the H5, right after the H6. All right, so now you can remove everything because we are going to learn some more tags. Press Ctrl plus S to save. Well, now let's talk about the strong tag. The strong tag is used to display bold text. So just type strong, enter, and inside of it you can type something like WebGlow, Control plus S to save. And here, as you can see, you have a bold text. And there is also the EM tag, which is used to display italic text. So just type EM, and inside of it you can type something uh, like this video, Control plus S to save. And as you can see, now you have an italic text. All right. And now there is also the del tag, which is used to display deleted text or crossed out text. Now, right below the EM tag, just type del, enter. Well, now instead of this del tag, you can type anything you want. Let's type something like, let's say, uh, I don't really know what to type. Okay, let's say Apple. All right, Control plus S to save. And now, as you can see, you have a deleted text. All right, so now the del tag can be used, for instance, like if you have an e-commerce website and you want to display your current product price and your previous product price. All right, so let's delete everything. Press Ctrl plus S to save. So now let's say that you have your product, right? And you want to display the current price and you want to display the previous price. All right, let's use the H2. Let's say H2 and press enter. And now we can say uh, product price. Control plus S to save. Now we can use the P tag to display the current price. We can say the current price is, let's say, $100. But here, let's type, to make it a little bit more cool, let's type price and colon. You know what? Let's type current price instead. Current price. All right. So now current price is $100, right? All right. So now we can use the del tag to display the previous price. But instead of just writing everything inside of the del tag, we can use the p tag, and now we can type previous price. And of course, some tag can be used inside of another tag. And you will learn that as you go. As you keep on coding in HTML, you will learn more about that. All right. So now instead of this p tag, we can use the del tag to display the previous price. All right. So now let's just type del. It should autocomplete. And now we can display the previous price. So let's say that the previous price was $120. Let's put the dollar sign in front of it. Press Ctrl plus S to save. And now you have the current price, which is $100, and you have the previous price, which is $120. All right, so now we also have the mark tag, which is used to highlight important text. Let's use the p tag, and inside of it, let's use the keyword lorem. All right, so now we have lots of text. Let me make it readable for you. Now Control plus S to save. All right, so now let's say that you want to highlight this part right here. You can cut it, and now you can type mark, press enter. It should autocomplete for you. It comes in pairs. All right, so now inside of this mark tag, you can just type the text that you've just copied and press Ctrl plus S to save. Now the text is highlighted. All right, guys, this is how we close the first part of this full HTML course. So in this first part, we have learned what HTML is. We download Visual Studio Code. We learn about tag. In the next part, we'll learn about HTML attribute, how to display images, videos, audios on your website, and links. If you've enjoyed this very first part of this full HTML course, so like this video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the second part. Leave us a comment in the comment section down below because it helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Bye. See you in the next part of this full HTML course.